Good morning, everybody. Let's get our radio guys going here. Okay, everything's rocking and rolling. Hi, everybody. How you doing? My name is Paul K. Lemare. This is Your City, Your Voice coming to you from 4680Q in downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. All systems are go for a great show today, except it's cold out there. Baby, it's cold outside. Freeze the brass balls off a monkey. Isn't that the saying? Freeze the balls off a brass monkey, something like that. But it's cold. I woke up, it's like 27 degrees. Are you kidding me? 27 degrees? And we're supposed to be heading into warmer weather. That rodent, where's that rodent? Where's that gopher groundhog? He lied again. Gary Wilkins, you're groundhog. You screwing us here. Anyway, either way, we know we're on the right side of it right now. We're getting there. Um, Things are starting to happen. Summary things are starting to happen, which is good. You gotta love it. So we got lots to talk about today, man. We got viewer comments, lots of viewer comments. We had city council review yesterday. Kind of comments on that. More comments about city council meeting today. Expanding on what we didn't have time to talk about yesterday. And of course, we have our sponsors to talk about. So let's mention our sponsors first. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, Hamel Machine Company. Yep, they're our sponsors. We thank them very much, and we thank all our viewers for viewing in. We want you to hit the subscribe button. About half the viewers haven't subscribed. Come on, hit the button. It costs you nothing. You get notifications when I drop a video, and you get to comment and yell at me and that kind of thing. So let's go. Thumbs up, thumbs down, like, helps the algorithm, helps me get this show out there. We got 2 elections coming up in the next year and a half. We want to make sure people get out and vote. Let's spread the good word. Come on. Let's do it. Now, looking at this weather, I was there yesterday. It was such a nice sunny day, around 50 degrees or whatever. I told you, get your car in there and see Wild Bill, Ken Hunter, Wild Bills. Let them take a look at your car. Make sure all systems are go. Make sure your air conditioning system's working, even though today you may not need it. You can just open a window for that. But believe me, the days are coming when you're going to need it. You want to get your oil changed, get your winter tires off. You want to get it all ready for summer when you're ready to go. You don't want to be monkeying around and breaking down and that kind of thing. You want to have everything going perfectly. Take it to Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. If you get a fender bender, don't worry about it. He's got a full body shop. Bring your car in wrecked, send it out, showroom condition. You're going to be very, very happy. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Oakwood Drive, just down from the Kia dealership, next door to it, as a matter of fact. WildBillsAuto.ca to see all the beautiful work they do, and there's a free inspection right now for spring. Ken's going to check out your car and make sure it's running tip-top. Okay, so Facebook funnies. I had a couple of Facebook discussions, but you know what? Nothing that I would say is that bad. Just the regular political stuff about Art Carney, Norton, and PP. So nothing major. You can read it all day on Facebook if you want, but I never got in any major arguments where people were calling me idiot, jerk, moron, goof, racist, misogynist, homophobe, transphobe, Islamophobe. What else is there? There's the other ones there. There's a couple other white supremacists. Not the other names. Never got called any of that, so that's a good day, actually. People disagree, but they didn't call me names this time. And you know how these people are, right? They get all butthurt. The woke, they get all butthurt, the Karens, and they start, when they lose, when they can't tell you anything, what they do is they call you names. I just tell them I don't listen to left-wing fake news. So I have the easy part. I don't call them names. Okay, viewer comments, though. We had a lot of them. At Your Personality Shows. Thanks for the show. Well, thank you, At Your Personality Shows, where it's a pleasure to bring it to you every day. Talk about these different things. And I really appreciate you getting on there and intercoursing with us. Interacting with us. Yeah, we like to hear that. I like to hear that. At least you're watching and paying attention. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. At the Iceman 69, Mayor Jim missed the nail. De minimis rule. The exemption known as de minimis, a legal term meaning too small to be considered, allows businesses in Canada to send packages to $800, up to $800 US dollars to American customers without incurring duties. Increased to 800 US dollars in 2016, it has made cross-border sales easier and more affordable. That's $1,120 per day Canadian, $800 US. No tariffs, no taxes. Thank you, Iceman, for that. It's interesting to know. I never knew there was such a rule. Obviously, the big show didn't either. He didn't mention it, but it's out there. So this is what I love about our listeners. They're educated. They know what they're talking about, and they send us valuable information we wouldn't have known otherwise. At the Iceman 69, summer gas every year, big scam. Yes, it is. Well, yeah, I agree with that, Iceman. Whenever they need to raise the price, they say, "Oh, it's just summer gas. We're getting summer gas, getting rid of the winter gas." That's a bunch of BS. No summer gas. No, I mean, they'll tell you. All these people will tell you, "Oh yeah, we put additives into the gasoline so that it doesn't gel up into friggin' pineapple jello." You know what? I leave the gas in my lawnmower for the 2 months of winter we get, and it does. Look at this guy now. Guy's got a big blanket. He's staggering around. Big blanket. Oh my goodness. What the hell? He's going around in circles now like a dog chasing his tail. Picking a piece of crap up off the. What the hell? I don't know. This downtown. But anyway, I digress. I don't know. He's looking at some big corrugated piece of something. He was going to lay under it. He just left it standing there in the middle of the sidewalk, and he takes off with his blanket down the street. My goodness. Yeah, well, pretty weird out here. I could do a whole show just sit. Oh, he's coming this way now. Now he's going down the alley. He changed his mind. He's going to go down the alley. Okay. Oh, yes, it's a big scam. It's a big scam. I leave my thing in the lawnmower. I pull it out, fire it right up, no problem. I mean, if you're going to leave it for 3 years in the tank underground, maybe, yeah, you'd want to put something in it or change it or do something. But other than that, it's a scam. You're right, Iceman. The Iceman 69, Canada, gross domestic product, 2.142 trillion US dollars, not 5 trillion. Yeah, we were talking about that with Chris Regis last Friday, and we must have said, I didn't review the video, but we must have said that the Canadian gross domestic product was 5 trillion. But it's 2.142 trillion. Thank you very much. Thanks for the correction. Noted, Iceman, and I did look it up to see if we made a mistake there, and Iceman was right on the money. 2.142 trillion gross domestic product. Monday show, City Council agenda review. At the Iceman, Doug appointed him just like April Jeffs. Bob is now a yes man who is part of the program. And I was, oh, my Your City, Your Voice sign fell off. Son of a gun. You got spirits. See, this is what fell off. I had it up behind me. Nice. Look at how nice. Your City, Your Voice. Yes, baby. Well, you know what? I'm just going to put it here for now. It fell off. I got to get some more stickum. Stick it up there. You saw it when it first was there. Yes, you're right. I thought that Doug appointed the chairman of the Parks Commission. I was pretty sure that's the way it goes down when it goes down. And you confirmed it, that Doug did appoint him. And is he a yes man part of the program? Well, that's, I guess that's got to be a matter of opinion. I don't know. But I know Dave was very happy about Bob Gale running the Parks Commission. At the Iceman 69, and I like Dave. I like Bob Gale too. So there you go. At the Iceman 69, behind the industrial park, they closed the road to move contaminated soil. I remember that. I remember that road being closed. I think Gary Wilkins and Mike Cushman were talking about that. We've talked about it before, and that's correct. They have moved some contaminated soil around. Excuse me, around that area. So Is it contaminated or not? I think it is. I think it's contaminated, to be honest with you, but I hope they do their checks, and I don't understand how they're building on it. There's so many things wrong with that property. Contaminated. It's ecologically. Nice you doing, Jimmy? Jimmy's out there shivering out there in the cold. Ah, yes. Everybody comes by and waves at your city, your voice. Yeah. So thanks for that info, John. I remember that, and you're absolutely right. At the Iceman 69 again. So SciTech has a limit on the Niagara Falls side, but zero on the Thorold side. Just because the idiot from SciTech said he warned you doesn't absolve them from responsibility. The schools are closer to SciTech than new buildings. City said traffic is a non-issue and will fix it if it becomes a problem. Eric Nichols said that. Okay, where do we start with this comment? Let's go step by step. They have a zero side on the Thorold side. Well, I think SciTech has gone to the Thorold City Council and warned them. I can't be sure about that, but I know I remembered somebody saying that. They had gone to Thorold as well, because that 2 mile radius is as the crow flies. It's not like driving around city streets trying to get there. Just because the idiot from SciTech said we warned you. Well, I want to see that in a court of law, John. Because if they come in and tell city council, listen, we need a 2 mile buffer zone because if something happens, we want to protect your citizens. Here's some paperwork. Here's some legal paperwork that's saying that we're telling you that. It's on record at a city council meeting. It's on video at a city council meeting. We warned you. Now, are they going to be absolutely discharged from any responsibility? No, because it was their problem. But as far as anybody who builds close into that zone there's going to be a great argument about liability. We warned you. You built there anyway. You didn't heed our warnings. Now what happened? Yes, it's our fault it happened. But are we liable for everybody around there who didn't heed our warning? And you built there? You allowed the planning department, you allowed it to be built? Man, oh man, I want to see that one in court. There might be joint liability. Like, yeah, we're liable for half of it because it happened at our place, but city's liable for the other half because we warned them and they didn't take our warnings. I mean, that's obviously the reason that these guys have gone to council. They've gone to council because they want it on record that they were warned. Or else why bother going to council? Just don't say anything, and what happens. There's a reason they went. Their lawyers advised them to go. I'll guarantee you that. Now, city has said traffic is a non-issue and we'll fix it if it becomes a problem. Well, you know what? They said that. They said that too about Thoroldstone Road and Dorchester Road, and Morrison Street and Dorchester Road. If it becomes a problem, it's too late. How are they going to fix it? Once everything's built and it's crazy, how are they going to fix it? They can't fix it. This guy just sent a big gob my way. It's when he didn't hit the window, spitting on the sidewalk. Yeah. So I agree. Eric Nichols said they'll fix it if it becomes a problem, but it's a regional road. So Eric Nichols, I don't know what he has to say about that. And also, we didn't see them fix it on Thoroldstone Road and Dorchester and other places around the city. McLeod Road's a big mess, so they haven't fixed anything. Eric Idle talks a lot, but I call him Eric Idle because there's not a lot going on. At the Iceman 7.2, presentation on water, wastewater. Now, one city council member will ask any important questions, maybe just stand up and say how good the region is doing. Well, Iceman, I can't argue with you on that one. That's the modus operandi of the city. So yeah, probably councilors won't say anything. They'll just say, "Oh, great job. We got bad infrastructure." You're right. We got to fix it. And way to go, Regen. You're doing a great job with it. You got it right. At 881 Slick again, man. Johnny, 881 Slick is right on the ball here. Oh, sorry, 881 Slick is Gary. That's right. The Iceman is Johnny. Wheels. Riddle me this. If Bob Guild looks at every penny, where was he when the region lost $50 million on that eyesore bridge? And he's talking about the Burgoyne Bridge in St. Catharines. $50 million was supposed to cost, but it cost $100 million. I was there, and all he worried about was what the OPP were saying about him. That's a tough one right there. We know that thing overran, and it was a big fiasco. And yeah, Bob Gale was there, I guess, when that happened, and nobody stopped it, nobody cured it, nobody investigated it. Gary knows where all the steel went that was missing. Nobody listened to him. So yeah, Gary, you got a good point. That's a good question for Wheels, and you have a really, really good point, my friend. At the Iceman 69, water rates will see a 10% increase plus every year for the next 25 years. And you know what? I agree. I think they will. They got to make up all this money that they're broke and they don't have the money to make this waste treatment plant. $400 million. Johnny thinks it's going to be closer to $1 billion by the time they get it done. And all the other infrastructure they got to do, they said about $400 million more of infrastructure has got to be fixed. Boy, oh boy, it's hard to see them doing it without raising the water and wastewater rates for the next 10 years at about 10%. Maybe they'll do the one-time catch-up tax like Jim Diodati did. The council voted for the one-time catch-up tax, 7.9%. Well, it wasn't one time. It's every year, 4.9, 5% every year. The one time didn't make a difference. I mean, they might as well have not did it. Didn't catch up. Might have had ketchup on his fries last time he went out there for a hamburger, but that's the only ketchup he did, in 7.9%. At the Iceman 69, no such thing as affordable homes. We were talking about all the planning. There's 4 planning issues, and nothing mentioned affordable housing or attainable housing. And I agree with you, John. Affordable housing is a misnomer as far as I'm concerned, because the reality is it's only affordable if you can afford it. That's how simple it is. What's affordable housing? There is no such thing, because anything is only affordable if you can afford it. You can't afford $1,200, $1,500 a month, then it's not affordable for you. So we need subsidized or attainable housing, something that falls within a range that most people can afford. Thank you to all the commentators and for being involved. And we need more like you in the city. Let's get more people involved, commenting. Give us what you think. Don't be afraid to voice your comment, whether you agree with us or not. I'll read it on there. It's a point well taken, and I'm very, very happy to do that. And I like when people comment. That means they're involved, they're awake, they want things to be done right. They have opinions. Okay, city council notes. I took a look at the agenda this morning, and I didn't see any changes to it since yesterday. So our show yesterday is pretty relevant. Now, that doesn't mean that there can't be any right now. Now, the show starts at 2 o'clock. They go into an in-camera meeting, so there's no use watching that. And about 4 o'clock, between 4 and 5, they come back from the top secret meeting, and they have the regular meeting. So tune in starting at 4 and wait for them to come back. They're usually not back by 4, so wait for them to come back at 4, and then the general meeting gets started, and we can get into the agenda, which we talked about yesterday. If you want to know what's going on, tune into yesterday's show. But by the time you do that, the council meeting will probably be together, unless you're listening live on the radio, because this video won't go on till probably 3 o'clock or so. I asked my guy, Mike Cushman, about item 8.2, the build by the industrial park on progress in the Centennial Home build of 626 dwelling units there. Here's Mike's comments on that. And I always turn to Mike. He's the guy. Mike and Gary Wilkins are the 2 guys that I turn to when it comes to the environment and contaminated land. He said, yes, there are at least 2 factories that are listed as Class 2 and Class 5. In Class 2 to 3, which means you must be a minimum of 300 meters from the area for safety purposes, not including fire evacuation, which is even a larger area. So that planned housing is close. Industries that have to be considered are Mancuso Chemicals. There's a debate whether Mancuso Chemicals is a Class 2 or 3. Liquid Air, Washington Mills, and the foam company beside that. And I'm researching to see what other chemicals places are in there. Another issue was if Oakland's golf course is in a danger zone, then this will be. For a worst case scenario, such as an explosion or large fire involving flammable or toxic gases, the emergency response zone where evacuation might be necessary could be 1 kilometers to 2 kilometers, depending on the type and quality of gases being handled. Chemtrade Logistics Oldfield Road location in Niagara Falls is part of the company's network of facilities for handling and distributing industrial chemicals. This facility plays a role in managing chemical products and providing logistics services for various industries, including those that involve hazardous materials such as Class 3 chemicals, flammable liquids. So, stage 3 is what SciTech is listed as. So, that's Mike's assessment of that area where they're building these townhouses or these homes or whatever they are at the end of Progress Avenue, 642 of them, I think I said. So there's a problem with that. That's Mike's intake on it. And I also asked Mike about 8.4, 7302 Kayla Road, which looks like it was a construction site and bus repair center. And Mike's, although he said he never looked into that one, his take was that anywhere there is vehicle maintenance or oils, coolants, and fuel spillage that gets into the ground. So that could be a problem there and has to be investigated as well. There's Warren Creek right behind it. That's part of an ecological system. So that's going to have to be taken care of. So there you go. That's Mike Cushman's assessment of those two sites. And it was about what I thought. So we'll wait and see what the environmental demandments are made of the builder and what they got to do. And we know that John Bacher, I want to say Bacher, Bacher, who is a well-known guy who comments on environmental things like forests and animals and insects and everything else. And his opinion of that drainage area that's adjacent to this build on Progress has had it had to be 7 or 8 pages of information about it. He's done the research for many years. He knows what he's talking about, and he had a lot to say about it. So I would advise everybody go to that 8.2 and look at that, everything that's on about that. And we'll see what City Council says tonight at the meeting at 4 o'clock. Okay, so let's get to my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. And I was telling you yesterday, I was there on Saturday and with my buddy Pete Dichter and Ray Lyle and Pete's son Pete and Alex. And we got together there to celebrate Ray Lyle's weight loss. Every once a month when they weigh him in and he's down, he gets a treat. And the treat was at Pete's Pizza. Why? Because they make phenomenal pizza. They brought out pizza and wings. They're just fantastic. And they even made a special pizza for me to try because they do sponsor the show, of course, right? And it was spinach and broccoli and chicken. And I'm not a big white pizza guy, but this was extremely good. They do everything there. Fantastic wings, fantastic pizza. Use the Manticini family recipe. Oh, it's been around for 40 years. Successful franchise. Pete's Pizza in the region. You do not have to worry if you go there for a pizza. It's going to be good. Cooked to perfection. They know what they're doing. But they're not a one-trick pony. I mean, they have a steak and cheese poutine. They have fries. They have regular poutine. They have panzerotti. You name it, they have it. All fresh ingredients. Unbelievable. Unbelievable pizza. How do you get it? Well, you dial 905-374-2222 or go to Pete'sPizzaVictoria.ca and you can get it. Now, I know what I'm going to have tomorrow. I'm having their tray special, $19.99 for a tray with 3 items. You can't beat it. Cooked to perfection. Hey, I eat 3 or 4 slices at a time. That's about it for me. And then I freeze the rest, and I have it for the next week or so for breakfast. I love pizza for breakfast, right? What can I tell you? But I wouldn't steer you wrong. Pete's Pizza Victoria Avenue, support our sponsors because they support you and they support me. They support the city. They support everybody. So please tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you, and go see our sponsors. So, have you had your pocket picked enough? Well, don't cross bridges into the USA anymore if that's a concern. I thought all Canadians were elbows upping and refusing to go to the USA. Well, if you're not one of the sheeple following the elbows up program, which I'm not, you're going to have to pay more to cross those bridges. The new rate for crossing is $8.50 a shot, up from $6.50, a whopping 30% increase to the tolls. Boy, oh boy, $8.50 to cross the bridge. You're going to go over for an overpriced pizza because you got to pay 50% on the dollar, and then you have to pay almost the price of the pizza to get over the bridge. Ridiculous. Why not just charge a sawbuck and get it over with? Come on, just charge us $10, get it over with. Why fool around? You're going to be raising them again next year, probably. Guaranteed the tariffs. Something's going to come up with the tariffs, and they get the paint they buy to paint the bridge comes from the States, and they got to pay tariffs. It's going to be $10. And that doesn't include commercial traffic, of course, because they pay more. I mean, who gets a 30% raise? Now, Jim Diodati was on TV this morning, our mayor, and he said, "Oh well, they're going to light up underneath the Rainbow Bridge." Please. You know how much money they're going to make at $2 more to cross the bridge? Yeah, well, maybe not that much. Nobody's crossing them anymore. They've had enough. Elbows up. Prices are up. Everything's up. So anyway, get used to it. You used to get a break if you had a Nexus card, but you don't get that anymore. This never ends. Elbows up, you beaver tail eating Canucks. You want to go over, pay more. Never ends. Can't get a break. I'll be going over. I'm going over it. I don't care about that. I'm going over. Yeah, but no beaver tails and elbows up baloney. Speaking of city council, the Big Show says he isn't endorsing anyone for the federal election. Oh, wow. Did he listen to some people? Strange attitude since he so proudly backed up a candidate that wasn't even elected by the party to represent it. Just appointed. And she definitely wasn't qualified to hold the position, but he backed her wholeheartedly. And all that came to a head when the incumbent hornswoggled her with a crushing defeat. That's right, she got her ass kicked. Although he says he still doesn't believe that the MP should be aligned with the ruling party, or the MP should be aligned with the ruling party. He says last time he was sure that Ford was going to win, so he went that way. But this time he's not feeling that certain. So in other words, he thinks Andrea Kaiser, the liberal candidate, because let's face it, it's a two-horse race here. She could win. So he's not going to pick a side this time. Well, Jimmy boy, it would sure help whichever party you favor to win if you spoke up, wouldn't it? You want the conservatives to win? Speak up and endorse the candidate, although your endorsement could be the kiss of death. Maybe it's better he doesn't. But here's my thing. Here's my opinion. You know I'm going to give it. No municipal or regional candidate should be backing any political party. They should be nonpartisan. They work for the people, not a party. They don't go to a political platform. So no mayor should be endorsing any provincial or federal candidates, and no MP or MPP or premier or anybody else for that matter should be endorsing any municipal or regional candidates, like we saw last time. Wayne Gates backing Caroline Iannone. I mean, that shouldn't happen. It's nonpartisan. In Canada, municipal and regional governments should not align themselves with any party. They have to work with what every party is in power, being nonpartisan. That's the most effective way. Don't alienate anybody. Don't risk losing certain benefits. Just be quiet. Whoever wins, congratulate them and say, we want to work with you and your party. I mean, if you endorse somebody, they get kicked to the curb and they don't win that election, guess what? These guys, they don't have short memories. They're like elephants. I mean, really, if you back Ford, though, I don't see why he wouldn't come out and say he's backing Baldinelli. I mean, he did it one way. Why not do it the other? But I don't know what that logical thinking is. I don't know what that is. What the wishy-washy man says is that we're dealing with a lot of controversy south of the border. And I want to know who's the best to deal with the challenges we're facing now. The jury's still out. I need to do more homework and research. And like I say, measure twice and cut once. And I'm not ready to cut yet. That's what he said. Where does he get these sayings? I saw him on TV. He looked like that guy from, the guy from the Six Flags. Dun, 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 dun. That's what he reminded me of. Guy's famous. Famous. If I'm not mistaken, the situation was the same on February 27th as it is now. Yet you chose a side then. What's the problem? Either way, I wouldn't push him on this since I believe he should be nonpartisan. So I'm not going to push him to make a choice. Sit on the fence, and whoever wins, congratulate him. That's what I would do. Because endorsing Newstate was a big boo-boo. Stay out of it. Work for one party, Mayor Jim. The People's Party of Niagara Falls, PPNF. The taxpayers. That's who you owe your support to, and you should be supporting. Amen. That's it. Now, in St. Catharines, Mayor Cisco is another one that likes to get involved in areas he shouldn't. And of course, he is releasing sound bites with his opinion. And I respond with who cares. But I did find one interesting bit of script that he released to the media. I need to feel confident that the person who is PM of Canada is not going to bend or buckle in the face of a storm of nonsense coming out of the White House. Nonsense. What you need is a PM that will not use the threats, bravado, and chest pounding, elbows up attitude to deal with the greatest economy in the world, one that has invited their best friend, Canada, to be part of. I'm glad you're sitting this one out, Mayor Cisco. I hope you stay in your domain and shut the hell up about federal politics. That attitude is part of the problem, not part of the solution. And I don't want to see it from whoever becomes PM. We need to work with President Trump, not against him, and no elbows up nonsense is needed. No, we don't need that. That's a recipe for disaster in Canada. We want to work with them. We want to make Canada great again. We don't want to fight with them. You don't believe me? 50 countries, including the European Union, have now said they want to make a deal with the United States where there are no tariffs either way. Trump was putting them on as reciprocal tariffs. He wasn't putting tariffs on them over and above what the tariffs they had on the states already were. There's reciprocal tariffs. A lot of them he was doing 50% at, some 100%. But either way, that's what he was doing. And now they're saying, listen, why don't we just drop all the free trade? Why don't we just drop all the tariffs? And what we have is free trade. Both ways. You send your stuff here, we send our stuff there, no holds barred, and go for it. And that's what they're looking for now. That's what his tariffs are bringing to the table. And yeah, a lot of countries are going to go that way. And I think it's great. That's what we need. We need everybody to be trading and exchanging goods and whatever and enjoying prosperity. That's the way it is. Trump's evening the playing field for everybody. And yeah, but I mean, the problem is, if he does that, a lot of these countries that were coming here because of the tariffs, now can reconsider and build wherever they want because they're going to be able to ship it in. So I don't know if he's going to agree to all these countries saying that, hey, yeah, sure, we're going to have all free trade. I think what's going to happen is he's going to pick out industries where they've been getting clobbered, and they want to come back to the States and say, fine, we'll do this, that, but we're not going to do maybe automobiles, pharmaceuticals, steel, some other things that he wants to bring back production to the States with. So there's what's happening in Canada. Come on, don't be left out. Don't let your attitude and your ego and your sovereignty and all the other baloney elbows up stuff. Don't let it obscure the fact that the biggest economy in the world, a market of 350 million people, is right there. I can see it from here. Don't don't screw it up. Come on, politicians, be smarter. It's like what's her name? Palin. She she could see Russia from her front porch. I could see United States sitting right here. I see it right there. It's right there, a mile away. Maybe not even that much. Back to the region. Let's go back to the Niagara region. You see, this is where you have to draw the line on drinking and driving. It'd take a person's license away forever. No chance to get it back. I read a story. 21-year-old from Thorold, Arjun Syan, Syan, was arrested on the 427 near Vaughan doing 262 kilometers, 162 miles an hour, and he was drunk while he was doing it. Seriously, folks, enough is enough. Not only should this guy do jail time, he should never be allowed to be behind the wheel of a car again. The guy's 21 years old. Is he crazy? He crazy. 427 near Vaughan. On a highway, 162 miles an hour drunk. I mean, this is so far removed from driving home after a few beers at the local pub that the punishment has to be severe. They got to crack down on this kind of people like this. This is ridiculous. Imagine hitting an SUV with a family and it doing 162 miles an hour. I mean, they're all dead, and he's dead too. I mean, if the courts are really serious about drinking and driving, really serious about this stuff, I mean, this guy is the guy they should lay the law down on for good. 21 years old, you're not getting your license back ever. Go back where you came from if you're not from Canada. That's assuming the guy even has a license. But man, oh man. I mean, it reminds me of that rich guy coming back from a bachelor party and he's driving drunk and wiped out a whole family. I mean, he's out of jail now. I don't even think he did 3 years. I mean, it's just ridiculous. We got to start getting tough on this stuff. Someone's got to take this criminal stuff and run with it and say, listen, it's not going to happen anymore in Canada. Enough is enough. You stab somebody on a bench, you're going away for 25 years, like happened in Canada in Niagara Falls here. Shootings, you're going away for 25 years, 25 years, 25 years, maximum sentences, no parole, no bail. And if you're from somewhere else, immediate deportation. Get rid of the visa, get rid of anything. Gone, never to come back. You're afraid they're going to come back from the country you're going to send them to El Salvador. They'll take them. You want to stop this? You got to make the punishment fit the crime. Lifetime ban on driving, prison time. But you know what? He'll get 90. He's got 90 days, and after his 90 days up, he'll be around, and they'll go to trial, and blah blah blah, and he'll be back, and it's a joke. Oh, okay. Let's go to the federal election. That's the big thing that's coming up here. We're going to stick around Ontario in the election for the last 20 minutes of the show here. But first, I want to get to my third sponsor, Hamel Machine Company. And, they've been around since 1948 serving Niagara. And if you're listening in yesterday, you heard Dave Wheeler, whose father had a little machine shop, really, really talking about the importance of small machine shops like Hamel. And I You can't call them small. They deal worldwide. They're inventors, they're fabricators, they're innovators. They help businesses solve problems. They're problem solvers. But places like Hamel in the city are so critical to industry because when something breaks down, they can't wait for parts to come in from somewhere. They got to get their production back up and running their business. So what do? They go to Hamel, and Hamel can fix the part, reverse engineer the part from the sample they bring in. They can 3D print a part if it's needed. They have water jet cutters to cut apart. It's amazing what they do there. And they also deal with guys like me and you, just regular people who have things that break that they need fixed. And they just go down to right over here on Bridge Street, Hauser's Welding, or out to Kent Avenue on the main office of Hamel, and they make it for you. They make parts for companies around the world to increase production and save time. And time is money these days. Hamel Machine Shop, not just for the big guys, for the little guys. Go to their website, hamelmachine.ca. You'll see the unbelievable work they do. It's crazy what they do. They do lathing, fabricating, computer design, rebuilds and overalls, customs and reverse engineer parts from samples, water jet cutters, 3D printers. They do it all. If you got a problem, go see Hamel. They're going to take care of you and make sure everything's back to normal. Hamelmachine.ca. Check out the work. It'll blow your mind how much these people do for industry in Niagara Falls. And they're a great group of people, been around since 1948. Thank you for supporting our sponsors because they support the show and they support the city, most importantly. Okay, over to the federal election. Are there going to be debates? Not here in Niagara or Niagara Falls riding. At least I couldn't find one between Baldinelli and Kaiser and the NDP rep, who I don't know who that is, and the Green Party, I don't know who that is. And the PPC Party, I know who that is, but they got to join up with the Conservatives. They can't take votes away from the candidates. That's just the way it is. I mean, it's time. It's time. Max Bernier hasn't done a thing. Now all of a sudden he's out there. It's time. Flip over. If Max would control his ego, he would join the Conservatives, swing his votes over there to make sure they win. We do not want a liberal government. If you know of a debate, let me know. Let me know. I might even go. I haven't heard of one yet. I'm running out of time. Speaking of the federal election, Le Petit Patat, who I thought disappeared for good, nope, decided to go out on the road and campaign for Mark Carney. Wow, what a loser. A loser back and a loser. I thought it was clear that a majority of Canadians wanted his sideshow sent to the storage locker, never to return. But apparently, the Art Carney, Norton, that his campaign feels that he can help. I guess they just don't get it. Trudeau's gone because that was it for him. Now they're going to bring him back and help out. It's like Joe Biden going to help out whoever the next candidate is. Help out in whatever. Is he crazy? You don't want him anywhere around you. He's poison. Well, it's good news for PP. One that most hated man in Canada is now helping the opposition. Great news for PP, bad news for the Liberals. If ever PP had a case to be made for more of the same, Carney is the one. If you elect him, you're going to get more of the same. Nothing's going to change. And our opportunity now has shown its face to get rid of them, get rid of the Liberals. This is it. And I think that the Petit Patat, getting up there for Carney, I don't think that's going to help him any. Who knows? We're talking about Canada. They voted him in because he had nice hair, Trudeau. I don't think there's wackier people than there are in Canada. Well, I voted for him because he had nice hair. He's so dreamy. Oh, brother, please. Speaking of PP, he now said he will institute a Canadian version of DOGE once elected. DOGE, SpaceX, Doge, Elon Musk, running Doge. That's what we need. Finally, he's understanding what President Trump is doing down south. Balancing trade, cutting waste, cutting taxes, attracting industry in a move to revitalize the powerhouse of the United States of America. And Canada has to do the same thing after 10 years of abuse at the hands of the Liberals. Stick to that message, PP, and you'll be a winner. The people have to see the difference between the bigger government tax and spend Liberals and the fiscally responsible, less government conservatives. That's what we need. That's what PP is going to do. Bring in a Doge. And, I got to mention this too. When I sit here talking about this, I know people are going to get mad. He's a liberal. You shouldn't give your views. Somebody told me that on Facebook. I forgot about that Facebook funny. You should be neutral. No, I'm not being neutral. I'm conservative. And this is a conservative-based show. Now, please, everybody, they're my opinions. That doesn't reflect the opinions of 4680Q or anybody associated with it, the owner, Pat Porter. No, this is just me talking. So don't put any of what I say on anybody else on this that have shows. There's 16 people who do shows. They could all be liberals. I don't know. I don't care what they are. I'm here to tell you what I am and give commentary on what I think things are and what they should be. Wrong or right, that's the way I think. And you know what? A lot of people agree with me. A lot of people don't agree with me. But don't put it on anybody else. This is my opinion only sitting here in this chair. Don't put it on anybody else that has anything to do with 4680Q. Because they may not agree with me. And God bless them. I don't expect everybody to agree with me. It's only my opinion. Well, in Ontario, where everyone is talking tariffs and how they will affect small business, there's another kick in the jaloots waiting October 1st. So we're going to wait for that. We got the April 1st carbon tax waived, but the booze tax went on, but we're not going to sidestep the minimum wage. It's rising to $17.20 an hour, from $17.20 an hour right now to $17.60 an hour. I know, everybody's out there going, so big deal, 40 cents. People will make more money, 40 cents. What's the difference? Well, let's do some math. Doesn't sound like much, 40 cents. But say you're a small restaurant or something. And that 40 cents with all the taxes and CPP and everything else on it is probably 56 cents, something like that, for the employer. By the time he pays all the government fees on top of the raise, it's 56 cents. Now, if a small business has 25 employees, that amounts to $560 per week, or close to $30,000 a year. That comes right out of the business's pocket. Granted, a lot of people already pay more than minimum wage to their staff. But the reality is, when the minimum wage goes up, staff expect a raise, even if they are making more than the minimum wages right now. So if somebody was at $17.20 and they were giving their staff $17.75 to entice people to work for them, now all of a sudden, some bum comes off the street with no knowledge, no experience, and they get $17.60. So now they're saying, well, I've been here 5 years and I'm making the same as a guy who comes in here first day, don't know what he's doing. More work for me, and I got to watch this guy. So that becomes a problem. Now, going up the chain, of course, the middle management and upper management, they're going to expect the same. I mean, if a manager is making $18.50, buck 30 or a buck 30 more than a person on the floor. Now they're making $17.60. That differential is only what, 70 cents. So now they want to get back to where they were. And none of this increase isn't based on any merit. Nobody's doing more work or nobody's doing anything different, but they're getting this raise just because the province says it. Now, how does the business owner deal with that? Well, he's got to cut costs, lay off people or reduce their hours, increase prices. The competitive world of business, sometimes raising prices isn't an option. Or just say enough is enough. I'm out. I'm closing the doors. I mean, it's a tough one. The raise in minimum wage was in the face of tariff-based price increases, and that's just going to be another nail in the coffin because now these businesses could be subjected to the tariff increases. Their products cost more, so taxes have gone up 5%. Wages are going up, whatever that is, 3% or whatever it is. So, like when you add it all up, small businesses are getting hammered from the left and right. Sometimes they just can't absorb the $30,000 they got to pay. So they got to do something. And that means less jobs or part-time jobs or less hours or closing the restaurant down on certain days. They don't open at noon anymore. They open at 4, save 4 hours of employees, one shift. It's tough out there. And these minimum wage raises are right in on it. You know, I don't think minimum wage raises are great in a free market. If higher minimum wages were the answer, why not just raise them to $25 an hour? Give everybody 25 or $30 an hour. Here, everybody can participate. But that doesn't work. You know what's going to happen? Everybody's making $30 an hour. Your Big Mac's going to be worth $25. More government in your life is not what you want. But apparently, in socialist Canada, we enjoy government controlling everything. So here we are, and raising the minimum wage is not the answer. If it worked, why go to 1760 when a livable wage is $21? Why not just go to $25 and make everybody happy? Because it doesn't work. You get more people with more money out there competing for products, and the product price of the product goes up. Inflation runs rampant, and that raise is actually worse because now they're paying more taxes. There's more competition for goods because more people have disposable income to spend, and they're out there buying things. And when more people are buying things, the costs increase. They raise the prices. When prices are lower, right? That's when you get more people buying things. Prices come down, and then that just drives them back up because more people are buying things. You can't the supply as long as the supply can't satisfy the demand, prices will stay high. I mean, more product on the markets is what is needed. That's what they need. When you have a glut of product, then prices come down because they have to sell them. When there's a shortage of products, they go up. That's the way it works. And the secret word is tariffs. That's what we've been hearing. Tariffs, 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 tick tock, tariffs, tariffs. But they're really not tariffs, like I said before. It's just reciprocating in the imbalance in trade that the U.S. has been facing all these years. He really isn't adding new tariffs. He's just equalizing the tariffs. Now, back in the heady days of the world after World War II, I mean, the U.S. was flush with cash. They helped build a lot of the countries that were devastated during the war. The industrial base of the U.S. revved up as people came back from the war, and there was an era of prosperity never seen before as the U.S. grew and was able to help other countries. Tariffs were installed to protect smaller economies from the U.S. giants, but it didn't bother the U.S. at the time. They didn't care. They had lots of money. Everybody was working. The baby boom was coming to fruition. Jobs for everybody. I remember back in Niagara Falls in the 70s, 60s. You'd go for a job. If you didn't like it, you'd quit and you'd go to another job the next day. You wouldn't even have to apply. Just walk up and say, I want a job. Okay. GM, Hydro, Washington Mills, Lubrizol, Ohio Brass, Lionite, Cyanamid, you name it. We had all those industries here. You could get a job the next day. If you didn't like a job, just quit. They were always looking for people to work. But as these devastated countries from Europe and Asia started making their comeback, all enabled by the U.S., where U.S. rebuilt a lot of it, nobody was worried in the U.S. because they were flush with cash. It was the heady days. But then came the 80s and things got a little bit tighter. The U.S. space program was done, and it became evident the U.S. wasn't in the same position they were in the 80s. Japanese cars had really made a dent in U.S. car sales. and by the 990s dominated the U.S. markets. Factories were mothballed, and the trade imbalances became unacceptable in the 2000s. And in 2008, we had a market crash. The U.S. government should have been dealing with these tariffs and these reciprocal tariffs years and years ago, but they didn't. Nobody really cared or did anything about the huge trading deficits. And if you remember back in the day, we had a lot of cars coming over, and they were junk. Honda Civics, Yugo, Lada. A lot of these cars were total crap. Hyundai, when they first came over, I'll talk about that later. But people were buying them. Gas was expensive. Price of gas was going up. There was a shortage of gas. They wanted better mileage. And the American companies trying to respond to these cars put out pieces of crap like the Chevette. And the what the hell was the Dodge one? That was a Horizon or something. That was a piece of junk. And the exploding Pinto. How about that? But now we're seeing it happen where these tariffs are coming in, and it's a little painful right now. The markets are down because of it and everything else. We'll talk about the markets in a minute. But basically, once this all filters through the system and everything gets straightened out, and like I say, 50 countries are now coming and saying they want free trade, no tariffs. It's going to bode well for the future. So you got to just HODL, hold on for dear life. Don't sell anything. Buy if you can, if you got the money to buy, because it's on sale right now. And speaking of the markets, everyone's up in arms about the stock market and free fall, but I bet they never knew this. In 2022 and 23, after the COVID scam, Dow Jones Industrial Average was in the low 30,000s. Nobody was screaming about it, but all of a sudden, 38,000 is a major disaster. Let's look at the last 7 years of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. 2019, 23,346. 2020, 28,868. 2021, 30,223. 2022, 35,585. 2023, 33,137. 2024, 37,715. In 2025, 42,392. That was at the start of each year. So you can see there's ups and downs, with the average over the last 7 years coming in at 33,038. Now the market's closed at 38,314 on Friday. So, I mean, we're still way above what it is. And a lot of people think the markets were overvalued anyway, and it was time for an adjustment. But you see, no matter what, what these undertakers are going to tell you. You see them on TV, the talking heads. Things are just adjusting to Trump's tariffs, and there's nothing ominous or bad going on. The markets are still far exceeding the last 7 years average by 5,000 points. Now, one Facebooker said that the 401ks were getting slaughtered. So that Facebooker who said that, to you, nonsense. Most people are not 100% in equities. They have a diversified portfolio, and that always weathers the Dow Jones Industrial Average storm. And secondly, nobody loses a dime till you cash out. So if you don't cash out, you don't lose nothing in your 401ks. They're meant for retirement. And some good news on the front is that I think PP said you don't have to take out your RIF. He's going to change it to later on, which is good. I don't need to take money out of my RIFs. I'm forced to. I can leave it in for another 2 or 3 years. That would make me happy. So there you go. It's all fear mongering. We know once these tariffs are settled and get into place, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is going to roar back like it usually does to most likely what will be new highs. Have patience, grasshopper. Have patience. It'll come back. And on that note, I'm getting out of here. I'm out of here. Tomorrow's absolutely. Habs have been winning. They win tonight. We just about cement a playoff spot. We'll be talking about that for all you Habs fans tomorrow. Lots going on. Thursday, Straight Talk Thursday. I'm just going to talk about whatever's going on in the news. But on Friday, it's going to be a big day. Peter Dichter is coming in. And we are going to celebrate my 500th show. That's right, show number 500 on Friday. Now, Pete's been here for show number 100, 200, 300, and 400. And he's going to be here on Friday for show number 500. And I don't know, is that a benchmark? Well, for me, it is. I think it's a pretty big deal. 500 shows. That's a lot of shows. Now, compared to a guy like Pete Dichter, who's been doing it for 45 years, I mean, he's got probably 25,000 shows in or something with all he's done. But for me, a little guy in Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, sitting in the studios of 4680Q, 500 shows is a milestone. It's a benchmark, and I can't wait to get Peter in here, and he's going to tell us all about some of his experiences in the industry and that kind of thing. And of course, Peter doesn't fail to share his opinions on politics and everything else. So it's going to be a fun show on Friday. Tune in, finally Friday. Peter Dichter in the house, and then we'll roll out for the weekend and next week. Now, don't forget City Council today at 4 o'clock. Check it out. Item 8.2, 8.4, the planning matters checkout. There's a couple other big matters in there. The show starts at around 4 o'clock, between 4 and 5 when they come out of the meeting. Check it out at niagarafalls.ca. Check it out at YouTube, or check it out at the Cogeco channel, your local Cogeco channel if you have Cogeco. And we'll watch the meeting at 4, but unfortunately I have to leave the meeting because my beloved Habs play a big game against Detroit tonight, and we got to win it. And if we win it, we're probably in it. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate all of you. God bless you all. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the note, the thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe, notifications. You get a notification when I drop another show on YouTube. Yeah, come on. It helps the algorithm. Don't forget our sponsors, Hamel Machine Works, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Support our sponsors. They support the show. See you tomorrow. With Absolutely, if you don't want to tune into that, you're not a Habs fan, Thursday, Straight Talk Thursday, be a good show. Don't miss it. And I want to talk a little bit more about our event that we're doing on June 7th for memory of Rick Rose and get money to the Rick Rose Foundation. It's going to be great. I'll talk more about it tomorrow. Ciao, ciao, everybody. Have a great day. See you then.